our lives. Days of Our Lives, a new dramatic serial starring MacDonald Carey.
I can imagine how the Hortons must be feeling today.
Stories like this make a man appear guilty before he's even tried.
Oh, what a terrible thing for them to have to face.
You know, I think I'll go over there tonight and see if I can help anything.
We did have a date.
Oh, I'm sorry, Diane, I forgot.
Stop by for coffee. This is a bonus visit. I should have hung out the flag.
If I stopped by any more often, you'd begin to think I was a star boarder.
I wouldn't complain about that.
Susie might.
Nonsense. Susie likes you. And besides, she's away at school.
How does she take to the idea of boarding school?
Well, she seems to like it better than living at home with me.
Well, you always seem to get along. At least when I've seen the two of you together, there doesn't seem to be any fireworks.
No, we never fight. But that's part of the strangeness. I think a mother and daughter should fight once in a while. It's normal.
Does she argue with her father?
Endless arguments. Only somehow they seem to wind up hugging and kissing and laughing like a couple of silly clowns. I envy their relationship. I really do.
What are you going to do about the situation, Diane? I mean, between you and Richard.
One of these days, one of us will get a divorce.
Just like that.
After 2 years of separation, what is there?
Well, I hope Tony doesn't wind up like that.
What makes you think he would?
Oh, I don't know. It's just that, well, his values seem to have taken such a spin. He doesn't even seem like the boy I used to know.
Well, you can't be sure he's changed that much, just on the basis of what you've seen in Boston.
Oh, it's not just that. It's leaving a girl like Marie and a family like the Hortons.
Well, you don't marry a family, Craig. You marry a person. Now, Richard's family was absolutely divine, but he was nothing like them. I found that out too late.
Marie's a lovely girl, Diane. Something really special.
Well, something must have gone awry. Maybe they were on the wrong wavelength or something. It's strictly a matter of chemistry, you know.
It is.
Certainly.
You know what your trouble is, Diane?
What?
Well, you're too simpatico. You care too much about people and life. You're going to wind up in trouble all the way down the line.
No, that's part of living, isn't it? Then, too, I'm not really the fragile flower that you think I am. Inside, I'm pure steel.
I'm afraid I can't believe that.
Oh, that's the male ego. You want to be protective with all womankind.
Not all womankind.
Well, thank you, sir. I almost forgive you for breaking our date.
Would you like to go over the Hortons with me?
No. Somehow I don't think that would be right. I mean, you know them so well, and I'm just a casual friend. I'm sure socializing is probably the one thing they don't want to do today.
Well, then, how about a movie tomorrow night?
You got yourself a date, mister.
Come in.
Hi, Dad.
Hi. Today's literature, Mickey.
Oh, I know. I've read it.
I think nothing else was happening in town.
I have been doing my homework.
Homework?
Depositions.
Oh, all for our defense?
No, not all. These include depositions from their witnesses and our own. I have been reading them all to get the testimony firmly in mind.
Who are our witnesses?
Well, I've subpoenaed Harold Wade and Milt Culver.
I told you not to do that, Mickey.
Well, I didn't say that I was calling them as witnesses, Dad, but I had to subpoena them, just in case.
In case what?
In case we need them. In case we have nothing else.
Mickey, this is our defense.
The case history of Carl Sawyer's ulcer condition. My diagnosis confirmed by experts. Dr. Bert Samrock, head of the X-ray department.
Well, I've talked to him, Dad. He will be one of our witnesses.
Oh, that's good. And what about Dr. Booth, head of gastroenterology, specialist in gastric ulcer conditions? He confirmed my diagnosis, too. He was the one who ran the original tests on Sawyer.
Yeah, I know, Dad. He's also on my list.
They all agree that Sawyer's ulcer gave no indication of perforating.
Dad, it still narrows down to whether or not we can fight this question of whether this was really an emergency call.
Well, that's up to the jury to decide. I knew nothing about it and had no reason to suspect this was an emergency.
Are we going to be able to take the X-ray viewer right into the courtroom?
Of course.
Well, that's good. It'll be a good dramatic touch.
Well, it'll tell the truth. The condition of Sawyer's ulcer is all right there in that X-ray.
Dad, did you know that Alan Ferguson has subpoenaed Rusty Lincoln?
He has.
Yeah. Rusty didn't want you to know about it yet, but, well, you're going to see him on the stand, so I thought it would be just as well that you weren't surprised by it.
Well, what's Ferguson hope to gain by that? Rusty's my best friend.
Well, he knows that. Rusty told him he's going to be a hostile witness.
What will he prove? What does he gain by having him, by calling him?
Well, Ferguson wants to get his expert opinion as a specialist. See, whether Rusty is hostile or not, he will still have to tell the truth.
The truth about Marie?
Oh, no, of course not. Ferguson wants to know whether or not Rusty, as a surgeon, could have saved Carl Sawyer if Sawyer had been brought to the hospital earlier.
Well, nobody can answer that.
No, not really, but it would look damaging for us in the jury's eyes if Ferguson was able to draw Rusty out.
Well, if I know Rusty, he'll be more than a match for Ferguson.
You underestimate Alan Ferguson.
No, I just know Rusty Lincoln.
Dad, you know, some of the very strongest people in this world just seem to wilt when they get up on a witness stand.
Somehow, I just can't see Rusty wilting under any circumstances.
Well, whatever his testimony is, he's going to have to soften it somehow. I just hope he'll be able to soften it enough, because otherwise...
Otherwise what?
We will have to dispute the expert opinion of your best friend, and that won't be easy.
Mickey, nobody's going to prove that I made an error in diagnosis. I didn't abandon Carl Sawyer. I didn't know it was an emergency. Now, the jury must believe that.
Dad, I'm going to do everything in my power to make them believe that.
Oh, darling. Coming down to dinner tonight?
I don't think so. Mom said she'd bring up a tray.
You know, I miss seeing your face across the table from me.
Sorry. Just haven't felt up to it.
I could give you my full repertoire of corny jokes, but I guess they wouldn't work, huh?
Dad, you don't have to try to make me laugh.
I'd be satisfied with just a little smile.
What's the point?
The point is, I want you to be happy.
Is that all?
So much.
Yes. For me.
Well, just got a letter from Bill. He's got a great idea. You want to hear it?
If you like.
He wants you to come to Baltimore. He'll show you the town and take you all through Johns Hopkins. It's a fine school. You might think of transferring there.
No, I don't think so, Dad.
Well, you could just go for a visit. You could go down to Washington on weekends. See, that's a very special idea. Marie, you've never even been to Washington, have you?
No, Dad, I haven't.
It's an education in itself. What's more than that, Marie? More than that, it's inspirational. You'll stand there in front of that Lincoln Memorial the way I did, absolutely mesmerized. The statue's alive. Compelling.
I've heard that about it.
And Mount Vernon, Arlington, the National Museum. Oh, you'll have the time of your life, Marie.
It'd be very expensive, Dad.
I'll stake you to the trip.
Do I have to go?
No, you don't have to go. I thought you'd enjoy the trip.
Just don't feel like...
Oh, it'd do you so much good. You'd gain a new perspective on things. It'd be a shot in the arm for you, Marie.
Some other time, Dad.
When, Marie?
I don't know. Thank you for wanting to give me the trip, though.
I give you the moon to give you pleasure.
You're disappointed in me now.
No, I'm disappointed in myself for not having found the key
The key?
to bring you back to us.
I'm back.
You're sitting here, but you're 100 light years away.
I'd like to please you, Dad.
I know you would. But I'm not going to give up trying. I'll warn you.
Dad, you look so tired and worn lately. Were you worried about me?
Oh, yes. A little bit. I guess I just need some sleep.
Can you get to bed early tonight?
Well, Craig Merritt's coming in for dinner. We're going to have a little game of chess afterwards. That should relax me.
I'm glad Craig's coming.
Well, then will you join us for dinner?
No, Dad, I'd rather not.
Well, come on down after dinner. Craig would love to see you. And you can see me clobber him in chess.
I'll see.
Remember, we're expecting it. Check. Checkmate. Oh, no. That's a little gambit I picked up from a 12-year-old boy on one of my flights. You mean a 12-year-old mind has just beat the daylights out of me? Well, this particular 12-year-old was junior national chess champion of Chicago. Oh, it makes me feel a little bit better. Marie, would you like to play a game?
No, Craig, I don't play very well.
Oh, Marie, you do better than I do without even trying.
Come on, Tom. You play a good, sound game, and you know it.
How come you always beat me then?
Well, doctors get less sleep than pilots. You're just tired tonight.
You could be right there. Hello?
Hello, Tom. It's me. Listen, can you come over right away?
Well, not right now, Rusty.
Well, I've got to talk to you. It's important. Well, Tom, it's about the trial. Now, I have to go out of town for the weekend, but I don't want to go until I've seen you.
Rusty, I have a guest.
It's vital, Tom. I'll be waiting here in your office.
All right, I'll be right over.
Right.
Craig, would you excuse me? I have to get right over to the hospital.
Yes, Tom, of course.
Marie, maybe Craig would like a drink or something.
Craig.
No, thank you, Marie. It was a marvelous dinner. Your mother's a great cook.
She is?
Do you know where this came from?
Yes. Thailand. I remember when you gave the set to Dad.
You know, of all the places I've been, I think that country impressed me the most.
It must be very beautiful.
Yes, it is. But it's not just that. It's something more. The people, the attitude of the whole country. You know what Thai means, don't you? It means free. And those people have an air of independence that is like something I've never seen.
I guess all I know about them is what I've seen in movies and plays about Siam.
Most of that is untrue, you know. For instance, the way they picture King Mongkut. It's an outrage. You know, when I finally got to Thailand and found out the truth, I found that he was probably one of the most progressive rulers of all time.
Thought he was a barbarian.
No, that's nonsense. He was a very cultivated ruler. He came to the throne just in time to save it. You know that he probably initiated more liberal reforms that still exist in that country today. And he believed in progress with a passion.
You've really made a study of him.
He always did interest me. I guess I read every book on him. Yes, he reigned for nearly 17 years. His entire reign was spent in trying to fill his people with light and knowledge to maintain their independence.
Sounds like some of our founding fathers.
Yes, I guess it was about the same. Two small countries fighting for freedom.
Did all his dreams die with Mongkut?
No. Luckily, he had a son to carry on for him. You know, I think all men need that. A sense of, well, being perpetuated.
Do you need that too, Craig?
Yes. Yes, I do. But I'm afraid it's a little late for that. The dreams a man has for his son.
Please. Don't let's talk about Tony.
Oh, I didn't mean to. I was really talking about myself.
You don't often do that, do you?
I don't often have such a good listener.
Why didn't you tell me Edison made you resign your post?
What was the point? You would have found out in due course.
In due course. Is that what friends are for? Now, why didn't you tell me immediately? And I'd have given him a piece of my mind.
What good would that have done?
Well, he had his ruddy nerve asking you to step down.
Rusty, it's only temporary. Just to get the heat off the hospital till after the trial.
And suppose you lose the trial, what then? Will it still be temporary? I'll bet not. Edison and the board will see to it that your resignation is permanent.
I haven't lost the trial, and I don't intend to.
Now, look, Tom. I talked with Mickey, and he has about enough ammunition for a water pistol. Now, you haven't got enough witnesses. You haven't any strong witnesses at all.
We've got enough witnesses.
No, you haven't got anything, Tom. You haven't even got me. Ferguson's going to call me. The opposition.
But you're going to be a hostile witness. That's what you told Mickey.
Oh, sure, I'll be hostile. But I can't lie, can I?
Just ask your opinion as a surgeon.
He's going to ask me if I could have saved Sawyer had he been brought in earlier. Now, that's what he's going to ask me.
We all know that.
What about the big question? Why were you late in getting to Sawyer? Now, how are you going to answer that one, Tom?
You know the answer to that as well as I do, Rusty.
Yes, I know and you know, but the court's got to know. And I'm not going to sit by while your entire professional career goes down the drain. I won't let you be crucified, Tom, just because of this stubborn notion of yours to protect Marie.
Quit it, Rusty.
Now, look, she's not a child. She's got to be told that her father's going to drown unless we can tell the truth. Now, you were busy saving her life when this call came in from the Sawyers. It's got to be told.
No, Marie's not going to be told. This is my personal affair, and I'm not going to burden my daughter with it.
Marie was the other emergency. You've got to tell that.
She was the only emergency. As far as I'm concerned, there wasn't any other emergency. I stand on that, Rusty. On my record as a doctor, my diagnosis of Carl Sawyer's condition, on my absolute conviction that insofar as I was concerned, there wasn't any other emergency.
But if Marie knew...
She'll never know.
Well, how will she feel when her father's shamed, disgraced, and prevented from practicing medicine?
Who says that's going to happen?
Look, I see and hear everything that's going on around me, and it spells disaster for Dr. Tom Horton. Unless...
Unless what?
Unless you bring Marie into this.
You haven't heard a word I've said, have you, Rusty?
Oh, yes, I have. And stacked up against the entire destruction of your career, it just doesn't make sense.
If my ethics and principles as a doctor aren't to be respected, then my whole career isn't worth a straw.
The jury is made up of average garden-type people, not seers and prophets. Now, they can't guess what kind of man you are. They're just given facts and figures.
My record as a doctor is a fact. My reputation as a doctor is a fact. My position here at the university, the respect of my students, those are the facts.
All embroidery, Tom. Now, where was Dr. Horton when that call came in from the Sawyers? Why was he delayed? Now, you give him that fact and you'll be cleared once and for all. Forget it. I can't.
You better. You better forget that I ever told you about Marie or her condition that night.
Is that an order?
You bet your life it is.
All right. I won't say anything more about this. Ever again, so help me.
Be sure to join us for the next episode of Days of Our Lives.